And wait, just hold on. It's scary, like a horror movie sound. Good morning, dear viewers. Welcome to the first episode in 2024. It's a new year with new video ideas, productions, and projects. Let's see what happens. Before we move on to the main topic of the episode, which I hope you're at least a little curious about, let's have a brief summary of 2023. Because you guys pulled off some impressive numbers. Listen, at least for me, and I'm incredibly satisfied with those numbers. I'm incredibly grateful to you and thank you for the whole past year because I think it was a very successful one. All right, everything is fine. The statistics look like this. All the videos on my channel have been viewed 26.2 million times. A lot, really, that's very cool. And we'll see what awaits us this year. The total watch time was over. How was it? 1.8 million hours? A quick calculation shows that's just over 200 years. And my small, well, now actually quite big channel gained exactly 160,000 new subscribers. So I warmly welcome you and thank you very much for being with me. And the new year actually looks quite promising because already on January 2nd, which was 2 days ago, as I'm recording this now, something happened that I had been waiting for a long time. And actually, I'll show you. Look, this is the terrarium you know, which I hope you like. And it says Hylobrachys nataniharum here, which means it's a spider that used to be called Hylobrachys, species electric blue. And listen, this female molted, she molted exactly on January 2nd or January 1st. I think it was actually the 2nd. We can show her to you for a bit. She's absolutely beautiful. Wow, just look. I opened the terrarium and there's already panic and you can still see it like this. It's not feeding time yet because it's only been either 2 or 3 days, like I said, and she still has a little bit left. Maybe you'll be able to see it better. Oh, you see, she still has red, not completely black chelicerae, which means she's not yet ready for full functioning. But as always, her colors are fabulous. All right, let's leave her. Let her chill here. Spoiler, this part of the video is boring, and it's boring because to introduce the creature I want to tell you about, a somewhat long and dull introduction is needed. So the main character of today's episode is a spider. That's pretty obvious, and I also hope you figured that out from the thumbnail. A spider that is very peculiar, very strange, and extremely primitive, and that word primitive didn't come out of nowhere. Let's start with the fact that all spiders on our planet can be divided into 2 groups, which we will call suborders. Well, since there's an order of spiders, the order is divided into suborders. It's simple, yes, the systematic hierarchy is just constructed this way, and these 2 suborders include all known species of spiders. There's a suborder called Opistothelae. Yes, I know, it's a difficult name, but that's what it is. This suborder contains practically 99, if not more, % of all known spider species. And all the spiders here, all except this one, which I'll discuss today, are in the suborder Opistothelae. What sets it apart? It stands out as more evolutionarily advanced, even though this suborder includes, for example, tarantulas. Yes, all those hairy spiders that I have shown you here many times, and about which I have often said are quite primitive, are actually in this more advanced suborder. You can imagine the spiders in that other group, and today we'll focus on that group. Because next to this suborder Opistothelae, there is also something called the suborder Mesothelae. This group of spiders includes the main character of today's episode and other primitive spiders that have barely changed for millions of years. Great, so now that we've gotten the long, boring introduction out of the way, it's time to introduce the spider itself. This spider lives in this rounded square kitchen container with top ventilation. And the first thing I'd like you to know is that if we look at this container from the side, it turns out that about 80% of the container is filled with substrate. There is a reason for this, because this spider spends most of its life underground, so it needs soil here to live. And it probably won't surprise you that if I take off this lid now, we won't see the spider, because it's underground. It's pretty simple, but instead we'll see something else. We'll see a very interesting structure that this spider has created. What's more, this structure isn't just, dirt and star-shaped branches. Because now, watch out, we're going to do something magical, we'll catch something maybe here and there. Ta-da! We have the entrance to the spider's burrow. And if we look at this container now, we can see that the burrow spirals all the way down to the bottom. You see click, 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 click. And down here is a chamber where the spider hides if there's something dangerous outside, or if it's eating its meal. By now in the video, I've likely already shown you shots of this spider. As you can see for yourselves, it's pretty creepy, it's a bit hairy, a bit gnawed, and it has some strange stripes on its abdomen. Overall, it's just disgusting. And at this point, I think I have to admit something to you, because in the container I just showed you, there's actually no spider. And there's no spider because the spider is right here. And I kind of cheekily, a bit cleverly and a bit cheekily, chased it out of its burrow just for the purpose of the film, and then at the very end of the film, we'll let it back into its burrow. Watch out. It's really fast. Let's take a closer look at the spider itself and talk a bit about it, and finally, let's say what it's called. My dear friends, what you see here, well, you see a little, because I don't want it to run out and fall. What you see here is a spider from the species Liffistius ornatus. This is a large, possibly adult female. Males are rare, but that's for another video. This spider is interesting because compared to all the other spiders around me here, it stands out with several features that they don't have. And the most visible feature, which also leads us to some pretty interesting stories, is segmentation of the abdomen, because practically no other spiders except for the family of spiders, which by the way is called Liffistidae, and this spider belongs to it, no other spiders outside of this family have this segmentation of the abdomen. And this segmentation of the abdomen is a remnant from ancient, I would even say prehistoric times, when the ancestors of arachnids, the ancestors of spiders, had segmented abdomens. Even some modern day arachnids still have them. And here the first and best example is the scorpion, which has a segmented abdomen. You can clearly count those segments. Another example is the whip scorpion, which also has a segmented abdomen. Spiders generally don't have anything like that. None of the tarantulas, sex spiders, orb weavers, or other true spiders I've shown you have segmented abdomens like this one. That segmentation is a trait from its ancestors, showing this spider is a living fossil that hasn't changed in millions of years. Another quite interesting feature, which this time is also found in other spiders from that second suborder, those more advanced spiders, is the way it lives and the way it hunts. You already know it spends most of its life underground, builds burrows, and makes little lids to cover the burrow entrance. What's more, you already know that this spider spreads out star-shaped patterns of web which allow it to hunt. You may not have known that, but now you do. In fact, these spiders, except for adult males who wander around looking for a female, spend most of their lives underground, lying in wait for their prey. It's in these tunnels. These tunnels are quite deep, let's say, maybe even a bit bigger, and such a tunnel is pretty hard to notice. Maybe not in the case of Liffistius, because here we have an exception, but with other so-called trapdoors, because this spider is a trapdoor, the name trapdoor refers to spiders that close the entrance to their burrow with a kind of lid. Because trapdoor in English means trapdoor, so this is a perfect example of a trapdoor. If any insect passes by these doors, and if the spider is fast enough, and it is fast enough, I even got scared for a moment, then such an insect will simply be shamelessly devoured. To finish my previous thought, as for the main character of today's video, Liffistius, his habitat and therefore his tunnel are quite easy to spot. Because there's that little star and so on, it's quite distinctive on the ground. However, with other trapdoors, it's not always that simple. And very often their little doors, their burrows, are so incredibly well camouflaged that unless the spider jumps out of them or shows itself to us, we can't even tell that such a burrow is there at all. So they're little tricksters, and that's basically it. As for this spider, we still have the operation of releasing it left to do. Actually, right here and now, we have to do it cleverly, because it's, well, it's kind of... That's just how he is, and now I'm teasing him a bit. However, I don't recommend touching him with your bare finger, because even though this spider is relatively harmless when it comes to wanting to bite, because it has never happened to me that she would actually stand her ground. I mean, that she would really stand her ground and try to bite me. In about 99% of cases, she usually saves herself by running away and just tries to escape. Oh, exactly, just like that. And since she's pretty fast, she often manages to get away. That's why her venom is probably quite strong. And even though our hand or leg wouldn't fall off if such a spider bit us, it could still have some pretty unpleasant consequences. No, we wouldn't die like that, but why would you do that to yourself? She runs away so funnily, and just wait. It's scary, like a horror movie sound. So now we have the spider, we have its little house, and we need to do it in a way that she doesn't run away from us and goes into that house. Here, oh, I know what else I can show you, look. This is actually another tactic of this spider, because not only can it be very fast, but on the other hand, it can also be very, very slow. So slow that it will eventually stop moving. And the thing is, if these spiders get really disturbed, they will pretend to be dead. Look, it's not running away at all, it's not defending itself, and you can actually pick it up very gently. Now I'm holding it between the second and third pair of walking legs, and you can very gently hold a spider like this and observe it. But in this case, we want to put it here. And now, for it to run into the burrow, I need to lift the burrow a bit and place it here. This would make a great macro photo, but the burrow will close soon, so I need to switch cameras quickly. This is more or less what a spider looks like that's already come out to us a bit. If this wasn't staged, it would normally be lurking a bit deeper than the entrance to the burrow so that the lid isn't lifted at all. And just a tiny movement of the web is enough for it to jump out, grab its prey and hide back, pulling it down into the burrow. And let's try to drive it in there a bit more, because I'm afraid it might escape from us here. No. She's really scared right now, I can feel it, but oh, it looks really creepy. I mean, like 6 legs. She came out badly. I don't want her out, since if she gets stressed, she'll run. Let's cover her like this. Oh, okay, we did it. The spider's already in the burrow, facing us with its butt. See, here's the butt. Great, let's close it. And that's about it when it comes to the most primitive spider I've ever dealt with. Let me know if you want to buy this spider, but I honestly don't recommend it. It's no fun, like keeping a hole in the ground. The spider never comes out unless you pull it out like I did. To each their own. See you next video, bye.